Alright, for this vegan gumbo recipe, you will need the following, or variations of the following. You're going to need about 5 cups of water, not shown here. Some okra. This is a pound of okra. I prefer the cut and chopped already variety. Chopped onions. This is 12 ounces. You can use regular chopped onions, you chopped yourself if you would like. I had some frozen kale I'm going to add in that. See how that goes. I prefer to use the boil in a bag. I know it's kind of a bad habit, but the proportion works pretty well for most of the things I do. So I'm using one of these brown rice boil in a bag. About 2 tomatoes cut. You can see it's kind of dirty in here. I'm doing simultaneous things. I'm cutting onions right now. Not onions, tomatoes. Excuse me. I'm using one of these, not chicken, bouillon cubes. You don't have to use that. You can use vegetable broth to boil your rice in if you like. I add that while I'm boiling the rice, which you'll see. 2 cans of black-eyed peas, and these are pre-prepared, so I'm not going to add them. I'll be adding them towards the end. And I'm going to add salt and cayenne pepper, red cayenne pepper. Okay, so I'm already starting the cooking process as I'm doing this, and I'm going to add a little bit of lemon juice to it to kind of heighten the cayenne pepper. You'll of course need a stove and a medium-sized pot for your rice to do separately, or you can do it in the same pot as how I do it, in a larger pot there. So, and a measuring cup. So, spoons are good too. Okay, so we start this by getting our about 4 cups of water ready to boil for our rice. As I showed you, I'm using this Success brown rice in a bag. That's how I prefer the sizes. So we let that boil for 15 minutes about. And we're going to put the bouillon, vegan, not chicken bouillon cubes in there. Okay. Try to put it kind of in the water there. And it'll boil down in the water and kind of make a broth as well as flavoring the rice at the same time. And we'll come back to that when we put it in this pot. Okay, so it's been about 15 minutes. What I've gone ahead and done is taken the bag out, cut it open, let it drain a little bit. With tongs, I took the bag out, and scissors, cut the bag, and put about another cup of water in there because it boiled down. I'm going to take the remaining bit of Montreal chicken seasoning that I have and add that to it. And go ahead and add the onions and chop up some tomatoes. I'm doing other things also, which you'll see in another video. Alright, so I lied. I'm gonna put the onions in right now and cut up my tomatoes while I'm waiting for the onions. I just use these. You can do your own. There is 12 ounces, so maybe 2 small onions, 1 medium onion. These are pre-sliced for convenience. So while I'm waiting for this to come back to a boil, I'm going to chop up my tomatoes. And also, I've added quite a bit of salt. I'm going to go ahead and start adding my cayenne. I do that about every time I add a new ingredient. Might be a little steamy there. Okay, so while I'm waiting for that to come back to a roar, I'll be cutting my tomatoes. So I went ahead and added my 2 medium-sized tomatoes that I've cut in fairly large chunks. There's my okra. I went ahead and added about the same amount of cayenne I did before. See how that's, you know, adding more water was pretty necessary. Kind of, you know, fold that in there. And again, wait for that to return to a boil. We don't have very many more ingredients to add to that. So this isn't going to be super entertaining. So I returned that heat back to a high, right about there, you know, 3/4 of the way up to the highest, and so it would boil. It wasn't really going anywhere. Then I returned it down to the medium. So what I'm going to do now is add the juice of half a lemon. Here, fresh lemon. Okay. And more cayenne there. And some salt. Alright. Kind of needs no explanation. I like a lot of salt. And I guess I got the kind of snaps. That shouldn't be bad. So, what I'm going to do now is mix that in. Heck, I'm going to add even more of that. Because I didn't really add as much as I normally do. I'm doing this a little bit differently. Okay. So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to turn it off. Turn the heat off. And I'm going to add the black-eyed peas in there. And whoop, it's 2 cans there. And I still have half a lemon, so if it needs more, it's the first time I've ever added lemon to it, but it's supposed to, like Mexican food with lime and stuff, it takes the heat to a different level, adds a different freshness to it. You could add pepper to this. I'm not like a huge pepper fan, so I don't really normally do that. And the reason we're turning the heat off is because those beans are pre-cooked and it's hot. So we just added the beans to it. And I'm going to put the lid that doesn't go to the pan on top of it to kind of let it brew for about, I don't know, stew for about 15 minutes. And then open it up kind of. I'm going to take it off the burner that it's on. And then we'll have a nosh. So, see you in like 15 or so. Because I'm also baking right now. It's been a couple hours. This stuff is still steaming because I left the lid on it. And I cooked it on high. There's Logan. And, the beans, the black-eyed peas seem to be pretty tender. Kim says so. Yeah, that's Kim. Yeah, I have friends.
I ate the whole bowl already.
She did, and she's gonna poop.
My mouth is kind of on fire, but like, it's tasty though.
Yeah.
Spicy though.
Yeah. Yep. That's how we roll. Okay, so yeah, she said it was good, and I haven't cooked it this way before, so if Kim says it's good, it's good. So yeah, try that. Do it now.
Fucking play something, sax man. Okay, moving on.